from the Moonlit orchard. Efe was a curious 9-year-old boy who lived in a small village beside a wide green orchard, and every morning he helped his grandmother gather fresh apples before school, and every evening he and his little sister Zeynep played by the old stone well at the orchard's edge. But one calm summer night, after the full moon rose high above the hills, Efe heard a soft whisper carried on the cool breeze that said, "Follow the moonlight to the hidden orchard." So his heart beat with excitement and a little fear, yet he felt a surge of courage and decided to wake Zeynep at once. And together they packed a small bag with 2 warm flatbreads, a wedge of cheese, 2 bottles of water, a clean cloth, a lantern, and Efe's small pocket knife, and wrapped Zeynep's favorite scarf around her shoulders. Then they tiptoed past their sleeping grandmother and walked down the narrow path toward the orchard, where moonbeams danced on the leaves and cast long silver shadows on the ground, while crickets sang in the grass and nightingales called softly in the trees. And as they entered the first row of apple trees, Efe held up his lantern and Zeynep carried the cloth open in her arms to catch any fallen fruit. And when they reached the 3rd tree from the old fence, they saw a strange silver apple glowing gently among the green ones. So Efe picked it carefully and found a tiny carved message on its skin that said, "Place me beside the moon gate at midnight." And Zeynep pointed to a small wooden door half hidden by ivy at the very center of the orchard, its frame shaped like a crescent moon. So they hurried through the silent trees, their footsteps soft on the cool earth, and arrived at the moon gate just as the clock in the village tower began to chime 12 slow notes under the bright moon. And Efe knelt to set the silver apple on the stone threshold, while Zeynep held the lantern steady, and at once the carved moon on the gate glowed in pale blue, the ivy leaves rustled as though breathing, and the small wooden door swung open with a creak to reveal a secret garden that glowed in moonlight, with rows of tall apple trees whose fruit shone like lanterns, soft white flowers that opened only at night, and a clear pool at the center that mirrored the sky. The soft voice whispered, "Again, thank you, brave ones. Take 1 silver apple and 1 white flower as a gift, and leave only kindness in your hearts." So Efe chose a perfect silver apple from the lowest branch, its skin cool and smooth under his fingers, while Zeynep picked a single white blossom and laid it gently in the cloth. And as they worked, the moonlit garden shimmered in gratitude, and fireflies rose to dance above the water like tiny stars. After a moment the voice said, "Share these gifts with those you love, and the orchard's magic will live in your village." So Efe and Zeynep tucked the apple and flowers safely into their bag, closed the small door behind them, and watched as the moon gate faded into ivy until only an unbroken wall of green remained. And then they made their way back under the ancient apple trees, whose shadows now seemed friendly and guiding, stepping softly past the old fence until they reached the village path, where the first pale light of dawn tinged the sky with pink, and they slipped back into their cottage just as their grandmother rose, holding each other's hands and feeling proud. And in the kitchen they placed the silver apple on the table and set the white flower in a small glass of water. And when their grandmother saw the gifts, she gasped with wonder and joy, and Efe told her the whole story of Moonlit whispers, the hidden garden, and the orchard's secret blessing, and their grandmother smiled through happy tears, saying, "Kindness and courage can open the most secret doors," then helped them slice the silver apple for breakfast, tasting its gentle sweetness while the white flower perfumed the morning air. And that day every villager who tasted a piece felt a warm calm in their hearts. And the silver apple seeds were planted by the children in the village square, where they sprouted into new trees under the sun, and the white flower's petals were pressed into a book of stories, so that every year on the night of the full moon the village remembered Efe and Zeynep's brave adventure, celebrated with lanterns and songs by the old well, and passed down the tale of the moonlit orchard, teaching new generations that to follow the moonlight sometimes means to follow kindness, and that a silver apple and a single white flower can carry magic wherever your heart will go.